I think one thing many people want explored further in the MCU is the villains and their backstories. And as it turns out, we will be learning more about Baron Zemo. When it comes to making a film, you have a certain amount of time that you have to dedicate towards fleshing out the characters. Obviously, you don't have as much time to focus on the villain because the hero is the primary focus of their own film. We've seen Marvel Studios get better at this over the course of the entire franchise's existence, but when it comes to it, some characters have been handled way better than others. Baron Zemo, for example, already had pretty good motivations that tied him to the previous events of the previous Avengers film, so we sort of knew what happened with him. But now we recently learned from the writer of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier that we are in fact going to get more on Zemo. Specifically, that they will be fleshing out his origin story, where he comes from, what he did, what this place was like, and also what motivates him and drives him to have the ideals that he does and do what he does. And they also state that when they started developing that backstory, that they looked at everything what's been said before, and along those lines, they started to figure out, well, how do we incorporate the mask now? What is the reason? What exactly did he do in his past life? What is his humanity about? What about the robots that were in Sokovia? What about Tony Stark? Is he still very resentful, or has he forgiven some of these people? Did he change some of his approach because of what happened with Thanos? That's all something that's going to factor into this, and also why he wears a mask now and all that. And I know there's plenty of people that have been saying maybe they're going to retcon him to somehow be Hydra or something, which could technically work, and that doesn't really ruin the character at all. If you say that he was being trained by some sort of fraction of Hydra, or they were like, raising an army that didn't know that they were in fact being built as Hydra soldiers. Again, in war, in these countries that are much more in poverty, if you will, this is something that happens. Recruitment. So you could roll that in there and do the whole Hydra thing. I honestly don't think they will. It just sort of doesn't feel needed with this iteration of him. I know in the MCU people want that because it's in the comics, but not everything has to translate from the comics. I think we can all agree with that on the Marvel and DC. But at least we're gonna know exactly what his origin story is now, and what does it actually mean for the character in this current day and age and how it's changed.